Hello and welcome to another episode of Unboxing with Paul. And today I'm excited to bring you guys the Ghostek Iron Armor 3 case for the Galaxy A21. Let's take a look at it. Just in case this is your first time watching us, welcome. And get ready because Ghostek has not one or two or three, but 8 different styles of cases. Again, we're going to be covering the rest of them in the remainder of the year. And again, today we're covering an Iron Armor 3. This is the packaging I'm never going to get tired of complimenting just because, again, I feel that it was made for me. I'm a huge fan of the holographic name tag at the top. I like the little window design that allows you to view the product. I like the little magnetic clasp. It doesn't cost much and it makes the whole experience just feel a little bit smoother, a little bit nicer. And again, just the packaging itself, it's a really smooth, nice design, very glossy. If you flip it over around the back, you can see that it gives you a few other, characteristics about it. I like that it's honest about the pocket that it has, that it only fits one card. It tells you it's only gonna fit one, so you don't get your hopes up about stashing 2 or 3 cards in there, right? And usually I'm a huge fan of these Iron Armor cases because they tend to be a lot thinner and a lot slimmer than what they appear to be in the start. In the box, we got a little Ghostek sticker that is matte black to help build brand loyalty, and we're gonna put that aside. What I have also noticed with some Iron Armor cases is that they tend to come with free screen protectors, free glass screen protectors. Now, I had a bit of a bad experience with the previous one to where it was cracked or they had a blemish in there, and hopefully we do not have the same experience here. And okay, awesome. So it looks like perhaps it was just a one-off where maybe during shipping it kind of got smashed or squished on the side, but it looks like we have a very nice tempered glass screen protector. It's nice, there is nothing wrong with it. There's some chips on the sides. Very nice from Ghostek to include that in there, and it doesn't mention that in the box, so that's a very nice little extra in there, right? So we can see that we have a 2-part case for this. This is included with a belt holster so that you can clip this onto your belt. We're going to put that aside for right now, and we're going to look at the case itself. The outside of the case is a black polycarbonate that is meant to be abrasion resistant. Meanwhile, the inside of the case is covered with thermoplastic polyurethane. Let's go ahead and pop our phone in there. So I didn't mention this actually, and I don't think I noticed this last time, but there's actually a loop for a lanyard. I hadn't think I've seen that in a while, but that's a very nice touch. And again, usually, what worries me about having these really big cases on it is that your buttons tend to be inhibited, but unfortunately I'm not able to test that out for you guys on this one as my dummy phone is having a hard time with the buttons. But again, I've tested these other Iron Armor cases, and even with these, the buttons still feel reasonably accessible, and even though they're not at their clickiest, you can still access them and they don't feel inhibited in my opinion. If we look at the very top of the case, actually we can see that our pinhole microphone is very nicely lined up to that center. And if we look at the very right side of the case, we can just see that we have our slot for our credit card. At the very bottom of the case, we can see that our speakers were not neglected as we have a cutout for them, as well as another one in the middle for our Type-C port. And we can see that as well, one more time, that pinhole microphone is nicely cut out in the dead center so that we don't have it obstructed or inhibited in any way, shape, or form. And also our headphone jack, we have a nice little slot for that. And I'm a huge fan that it's oversized because I don't know if you guys have had this problem before, but oftentimes headphone jacks tend to have a really big jack or plug or nubbin where you try to plug it in and it interferes with a lot of the cases. And I'm a fan that Ghostek has accommodated for that, and they've thought about that, right? On the right side of the case, I know I've already pointed out the lanyard, very nice touch, but I like the fact that actually the buttons are labeled. Even though it drives me up the wall that these companies put the buttons on the same side, at the very least, Ghostek has tried to remedy this by putting the plus and the minus sign on the volume up and volume down buttons and putting the little power sign on the power button. Very, very good, Ghostek. Good job. At the very back of the case, we have actually a very, very nice raised bump. I don't know if you guys can see how aggressive that is, but that is a solid 3.5, almost 4 millimeters, I want to say, of solid raised lip that you have in case this thing happens to fall flat on its face. Right along with that, again, another raised lip for your fingerprint scanner so that it's not going to be damaged when you happen to drop your device. And finally, our kickstand. Now, I did have an issue with this one last time to where after several drops, it happened to break, right? So I was a huge fan of the very first case that I tested from Ghostek. As that one bent over and over relentlessly without breaking. And it looks like this one did not suffer the same fate. It looks like right away within the first drop, this one broke. So I was hoping that actually this one just had one long bar, but it looks like it has two of these little metal bars that go across that hold it together. So unfortunately, this will no longer be usable because I don't think I will ever be able to find that other little bar. And it indeed did break. This case broke. Unfortunately, it did not withstand the impact of our test. I was a huge fan of the very first case that I tested from Ghostek, in which the kickstand did very, very well, and it bent and it flexed over and over without it giving. And it seems to be, unfortunately, here that these cases, or at least the kickstands in these cases, are giving very, very quickly, or at least this floor is a bit too tough for them, right? Let's go ahead and continue with the rest of it. The kickstand, or at least the belt clip, has a kickstand to it. Usually you are able to turn these around and also use it as a secondary kickstand. However, last time we had a bit of a hard time with that. Let's see if that continues to be the case. Let's see if we are still being plagued by these issues to where we have a hard time using our belt clip as a secondary kickstand, which we should not. There we go. So again, in case you happen to break the kickstand like me, I think Ghostek was kind of aware that was going to happen, and if not, they didn't plan for it, but at least I like the fact that they have redundancy in their things, or I like the fact that they kind of think ahead, just like they remedied the power and the volume up and volume down buttons. They also thought of putting in a backup kickstand so that in case you're a doofus like me, or in case you're clumsy, in case you're a butterfingers, in case you break your stuff, you have a backup and you're not going to be left without it. Go ahead and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on Ghostek's case? Do you guys think they did a good job with building in some redundancy with a secondary kickstand so that you guys can be entered into the giveaway for the A21 Tab 2 tablet? At the moment I reach 750 subscribers, I will be giving one of these tablets away. All you have to do is, again, comment, what are your thoughts, be subscribed, and as always, thanks for watching.